How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. I want to talk about something that I think is really important, and it's something that maybe you haven't noticed. Maybe you have because you are watching this on YouTube. But I want to talk about something that I think is really important moving forward and something that a lot of people haven't really noticed yet. And it will throw some people off, and then some people will start to understand it. More and more people will grow and start to understand what I'm about to say. And I'll be honest, this is a little bit of a different video. It's a little bit of a look inside my channel and other channels and the whole industry. And I want to give the perspective of someone that's in here. And again, I don't know if there's going to be any audience for this video. I don't know if it's going to be a terrible video from a viewer's perspective or from a viewership perspective, because it is something that is not an individual stock, but it's something I think is really important. I think YouTube is by far the best place to get investing information in a good amount of time. So if you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up before we get into it. Also, if you want to hit subscribe, it's right down there. I really appreciate it. If you guys want some free stock through WeBull, you can get 4 free stocks if you deposit $100. And if you want to know exactly what I buy and when, you can check out the link down below to Patreon. We're growing like crazy, and this is something I'm going to hit on in a second, but we are at about 870 patron members there, so definitely check that out. So I want to talk about how YouTube is now, I think, the best platform for investing knowledge and investing advice. Necessarily, I can't say advice because we're not financial advisors, but for news on different stocks. And some people might say, well, obviously, some people might be thinking that's stupid. That's not the case, but I think that YouTubers can benefit a lot if they are good at what they're doing. So by that I mean, think about the traditional forms of media for stock, right? A lot of the time back in the day, it was your broker, then it moved over to probably newspapers and then TV, maybe internet after that, where instead of watching a program like Jim Cramer, you could watch or you could search for something like The Motley Fool or Market Watch. Now, I think a lot of this is turning to YouTube, and I think that this is a huge movement that is really starting to expand right now. And the reason I say that is for a few reasons. First of all, we are compensated really well if you do well on YouTube for the sense that if you pick out stocks that do well, you make lots of people a lot of money. You are very highly regarded. Think about the Graham Steffens of the world. He doesn't even pick individual stocks, but think about Jeremy from Financial Education. Think about Meet Kevin now talking about individual stocks. Think about other people, and I'm showing you my screen here so that you can see who I follow, but you can do really well. And I'll be honest, I was a beneficiary of this recently. On my channel here, I talked about Arrival stock. It went up 130% or something like that after I talked about it. I got in on it at $13 a share. Now it's moved up an insane amount since then, and I think it's actually over 130%. I think it's like $33 a share right now. Then we talked about a few other companies. We talked about ChargePoint, up massively. I'm up over 100% on it. We talked about Laser, which is now up over 300% since I talked about it. It's insane. Then we talked about, a bunch of different companies in a row. LGVW that did really well right after we talked about it. XPeng, Palantir, Nuvi, which went up 86% the day afterwards after we talked about it. AvePoint or APXT that did really well. Lion Electric. There are just a lot of different companies. HCAC, which went up a lot. RMG. There are so many companies that we talked about in a row that it caused my channel to explode. So we went from 9,000, 10,000, 15,000 views a day all the way up to, you can't see it very well, but 105,000 views a day, 80,000. It went up in pretty much 5x or 10x our views because we were right about a lot of stocks. Now, a lot of people think that you can't necessarily time the market. You can't really beat the market. You can't beat index funds. So a lot of people are investing in index funds. And this is what Investopedia has to say about it. You may be able to beat the market, but with investment fees, taxes, and human emotion working against you, you're more likely to do so through luck than skill. So they're saying, along with a lot of other people, that you really should just try to invest in index funds. Few people can beat the market, and that might be true over time, but we're in a changing time. We've gone through a pandemic that's just thrown company valuations out the door for a lot of companies. A lot of the companies that are really well known that rebounded really nicely went down 60, 70%. So if you were someone that could take advantage of that, you did a lot better than the index. Now, I think, again, that we are really well compensated. And the reason that I think we're going to be able to outperform the market, and you have to do your research too, I'll be honest, is the fact that we have so much reach right now. We, as YouTubers, can see so much that others can't. In traditional media, for example, I have 42,000 subscribers. I have hundreds of comments on every video. I go through there, and I'll be honest, it's hard to pick out every single stock from that list of what people tell me to look at, but I also have 870 Patreon members that are always looking at stocks, trying to figure out the next big stock, and that's hard, but when there are trends that happen, like SPACs right now that are going insane, or EV before that, when you see trends like that, you can catch onto it a lot quicker if you are plugged into YouTube, plugged into Patreon, into the comments. You can see a lot quicker trends. If I see 10 different people tell me I need to check out this stock, I pull it up. Usually it's had some crazy news or some crazy price action. I couldn't get that if I was looking at the Motley Fool or Market Watch. And that might be a generalization, but we are able to make videos, and we are highly compensated for doing it in a timely manner and being able to beat out other people to the punch. Now, I also think that we provide more value just for the fact that we have a lot more engaging media. For example, I have a hard time reading a full article like on Seeking Alpha when it's 10 pages or something like that. It's a lot easier to have something like YouTube and to maybe even have it in the background while you do something else, or maybe you're focusing on it completely, but it's a lot easier to have something like this. And take this as you will. If you are someone that takes this and says, well, this is useless, this doesn't matter anything, you can think of it that way, but I think whether you are looking at maybe making a YouTube channel and investing your time into this kind of career or side hustle, and you're wanting to talk about stocks, I think that's valuable. Also, if you are just looking at it from a pure information standpoint, if you want to get in on this, if you want to start following more channels, for example, I follow all these different people, and just adding it up here, right? So Jconomics has maybe 17,000 subscribers. Jack Spencer Investing 65,000, Meet Kevin 1 million, Joseph Carlson 200,000, and so on the line. You can add them up. There are millions of people that are underneath all these people, and if I start to see one person talk about a stock, and then maybe I don't have the time to research it, but then I see someone else talk about it, or I see it in my comments, or I see it in my Patreon group, if I start to see in multiple places, it draws my attention to it. Right now, the problem is we have so much information that it's hard to weed through it all. And, even something like Investor Place, right? They'll put out 3 articles on the same company in the same day, taking all different perspectives. If you find a couple YouTubers that you really believe in that bring good information, it can expedite the process for you to research. So if you really should do your own research, but if 5 different people that you've been watching for a long time that have a really good track record are talking about some stock, you should probably realize that you should take a look at it too. And it can weed through all those boring articles, all those the 10 articles that are on Procter and Gamble this week on Motley Fool or something like that. So it can weed through a lot of that, and you can find a lot of the newer stocks that are going up very quickly. So if you guys like this, if you guys want to see more of these types of videos, let me know just on maybe the industry in general, why YouTube is a good place to get investing knowledge and news. Let me know if you guys are looking at starting a channel. I would highly suggest it. If you think it's too late, everyone's thought it's too late since maybe the first round of people, but even then, they thought there probably wasn't that much of an audience. So it's always too late until it's not. So definitely start that channel. Definitely do that. And if you are someone that wants to get in on the action, if you want to join the Patreon, if you want to be closer to the action, I tell everyone there exactly when I buy and sell stocks. I sometimes release videos a little bit earlier. I film a shorter version of the video for them. Definitely check out the link down below in the description, or check out the link to WeBull to get those free stocks. Again, this is kind of a different video, but I think it's really interesting. I think it makes a lot of sense to me that we are rewarded for doing well. So we have positions in some of these stocks and we want to see them do well. We believe in what we're talking about and we're highly compensated if we're right. So I think that just makes a lot of sense. I think this will be a movement that happens continuously over the next following years. And right now, it's kind of like a land grab. It's kind of like just grabbing as much attention as possible. Where this is a really expanding space. Like I know people in my personal life that had no idea that you could listen to finance videos on YouTube. Now they can't get enough of these videos, like people that I know. So it's really interesting to see this happen. And I think you should definitely try to take advantage however you can. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Again, check out those links and I will see you in the next video. Bye.